What up, guys? Amy Rose here with FlowerHire, and I am stepping in for the Belsky today, who's on the East Coast for this week's Sunset Session. I am thrilled to welcome our guest this week, the talented Vilay Matuska, who is the Vice President of Marketing over at Glasshouse Group.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for being here, and your first time in the Flower House. What do you think?
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so jealous of your office.
You know, there is a spot opening up for lease, just throwing it out there, Kyle. So first things first, I have to congratulate you guys on the incredible announcement with the IPO.
Thank you. That was all Kyle, Graham, and Daryl, and Derek, everybody else. But yes, we're so excited. Like the entire team is really excited about the next steps and recognizing as well all the work that has been done before.
What a whirlwind, right? Your 1 year's coming up, and this is all happening.
Yes, but it's cannabis, right?
It is cannabis, as we've talked about. 1 year in cannabis is like 7 years in dog years, right?
I totally agree.
Yeah, it's a thing. So your background is incredible. Basically, all my vices. You worked at GT with kombucha, obsessed. Nestle, need I say more? Red Bull. So obviously a lot of the CPG world, a lot of the skills and experiences translate so easily here, right? And some other things, you're just like, cannabis is wild. So what do you feel like that background did not prepare you for with the world of cannabis?
You know what? In a way, I actually think it really prepared me incredibly well. Of course, in hindsight, it's easy to say. But I started to work in Czech Republic with Nestle. And if you think about Czech Republic at a time, that was a really long time ago. There was no marketing because they were a communist country where there's no consumers, there's no demand. Factory produce whatever they produce, and then that's what you put in a store, and people just buy what's in the store, and that's it. So I studied there, and there was zero structure, no nothing. Even the concept of marketing was unknown. And I feel sometimes it's a little bit like that in cannabis. We're really at the beginning on the marketing side, at the beginning of brands. So I think I learned that there. And also, you know, super fast. Mm-hmm. Like when you have an emerging economy, like Czech Republic at the time, things change 500 times every month, same as in cannabis. And then, yeah, candy, beverage, wellness.
Best things in life.
Lifestyle with Red Bull. So the same in cannabis, everything is converging. Mm-hmm.
And the idea of brand, as you mentioned, because like California brand is a whole other thing, yes. Right? Like it's a different beast. You know, we have East Coast cannabis, we have West Coast cannabis. They all have their unique energy and style. And what would you say it is about being a part of the #1 brand in California? Like, how would you define that brand if you're describing it to someone that isn't as familiar with it?
So I would say first, disclosure, I don't know enough about the cannabis in the rest of the country or the brands. I'm sure there are beautiful brands there too. But California is culture of cannabis. It's also one of the most competitive market. This is very advanced. You have a community here that, you know, is very strong. So I think, and then we have tourism, we have the perfect, especially on the Central Coast where we have our farms, perfect climate for cannabis. So I think this is really where Mother Nature and tech, both things really strong for California, are meeting in the perfect place.
We're pretty spoiled.
Very, very spoiled, yes.
It's pretty incredible. And, you know, that idea of culture as well, because cannabis culture is its own beast, right? And it's always evolving. I mean, especially from the CPG world, as you said, like it's prepared you really well for this, but cannabis is its own entity. And
totally different, yes.
That culture. So like, you know, heading up marketing at this incredible brand, like how do you attack culture in creating this from the inside out?
That actually, I will tell you, I don't have the answer. Because when I started, it was COVID. And COVID kicked my butt because I didn't meet my team in person until fairly recently.
It's so hard.
So I could not go to dispensary, meet with bud tenders as often as I would want. You can do that on a phone call. You can do that on a conference. It's not the same. So I'm going to say culture, we're still working on it, but I'm really trying to immerse myself and learn and listen, because honestly, that's not where I come from. I enjoy cannabis personally before taking that job, but there's so many people out there who know so much more about it and who are very generous with educating me. So, total discovery for me. Like, for example, I really didn't know the history of cannabis and impact on pop community. So it was really eye-opening for me.
But I think that's part of what makes you so good at what you do as well, is because you know the strengths from your CPG world and skills as well, but you also lean into the fact that there's people that are the OGs, right? Which is its own brand in itself. And I think having that sensibility as you create this brand is what makes you guys, we talk about this a lot just as a company, like you guys are just a very tight-knit group. Like you're all just really talented and really care about what you do. And that passion is tangible. I think you can feel it in your products even. So one series that we've been doing recently is Cannabis Stories. And basically, like, you know, people's connection to the plant is so diverse. Some it's the emerging market, some it's the medicinal effect, whatever it is. And so I'm just kind of curious. I always love to hear the insider's perspective of just what is it about, you know, cannabis that you love being a part of, regardless of the brands outside of all that, the actual plant itself.
I guess the right thing to say would be all the power of the plant, medicinal and so on. But I'm going to say for me, it's like the fun. It's just being with friends, like, you know, going to a concert, having a great time. That for me is the power of cannabis, of bringing people together and just, you know, having fun.
Community.
Yeah.
I think that's the right answer personally. It's important, and it is, you know, helps on such a variety of different ways with people, and I think that's what's beautiful. It's because it does call to us also differently, but it does bring us together, and like we are a baby industry still. It's like scratching the surface. So have you had a couple of those moments working with Glasshouse, and you're coming up on your year, which is crazy. I'm sure it's felt really long and really slow at the same time. Time is bizarre, especially in COVID. Have you had those aha moments yet where you're just like, I can't believe this is my job? Like I saw Jay-Z is a part of, like you're doing some great things.
Yeah, it's, I definitely had many of those moments, right? Because we're moving so fast that you can see something being impacted immediately. I saw, you know, my team doing something and we're like, of course, struggling, right? Because it is struggle just to get a sample, just to get, like, it's not easy. And then suddenly you have an entire program taking shape and it's like, oh, wow. And it worked. On top of that, you can see it immediately, that consumers reacted, that, you know, suddenly there's some noise or somebody taps on your shoulder and say, hey, I saw that. And, or I saw this t-shirt, where can I get one? I love you guys. So it's just interesting because we tend to think that maybe it's a little bit hidden or whatever, but it's not actually. So you can see consumers reacting, you see some results already. So that's what I like, that what we're doing actually matters or has an impact and people notice. So it's cool.
So now that people are vaccinated and, you know, where you can kind of take a deep breath and have community again and all the things, are you kind of just really excited for this new slate? Because, you know, with your background, with Red Bull, with events, with activation, I mean, utilizing that so well into this world, like, do you have some exciting things you're scheming up?
We have plenty of exciting stuff, definitely. And we have a great team working on communication, on activation and so on. But this is also because we really believe that, you know, it's about putting people together and having a good time. So yes, with COVID, that was a little bit more difficult to do, but now we're gonna go crazy.
So we've talked about, you know, GT, Red Bull, all these distinctive brands. To you, what makes a good brand?
To me, it's really the authenticity and the fact that the brand is actually true to its word. Like it should be a friend that you rely on, that you go to, that engages you. in a conversation you want to have with this brand. So that's what a good brand is. So if you look at Red Bull, for example, it's not manufactured. It hasn't changed, right? If you look at the can, actually, this is the most enduring design. It's been the same for 30 years. And I'm going to confess, I tried to change a few things about it, and it was like, nope. So, and the same for the marketing mix of Red Bull is really not changing because they are who they are, and they're not trying to be more because the fashion changes or anything. So that, I think, is a true brand. And also somebody who has values, you know, like for a friend. You're a friend with somebody not because of the way they look or the way, but because you share values. And I think the values of Glass House and Glass House Farm, or you know, Forbidden or Mama Sue and so on, the brands that we currently have, are pretty well honed already. And so our job and the marketing team is just to bring them and share them with more people.
That's an interesting point that you bring up because, you know, Red Bull, maybe a boring design, but it's persevered. And it's like, does cannabis have that luxury because of so many options at our fingertips, especially California? We know we're spoiled. We have the weather. We have everything here. Like, it's incredible. So like that, you know, do you feel like the same rules could apply? Would a brand persevere with the same kind of like, you know, approach and tactic, or do we have to constantly in cannabis, because it is still new, reinvent the packaging and the products and this? Like, what is that balance?
But I think there's definitely a balance, but the packaging is not a brand. An event is not a brand. So a brand it's really a perception and how you make people feel, right? So if you empower people and you do that consistently, it can take different form, but you have to continue to stand for empowerment. And everything you do needs to be about that. And I think it doesn't matter whether it's a cannabis brand or anything else. A brand is just what I know about you, what I think I can rely on you for. And I mean, potentially a brand can be, I'm going to surprise you all the time, but not sure that this is what people would always remember.
I love that. Empowerment, inspiring, connection, community, and you know, that's a reason a lot of brands fail, because they don't get that across, and makes you feel like, oh, I know the people who made this, because it's like you welcome them in. And I feel like as, you know, Glass House Group, you guys do have a personality to your brand, you know, so that's really exciting. So yeah, there's just a lot going on in the industry right now, and I feel like we're all like, summer is going to be really incredible. Is there something you're particularly excited about that you're working on right now that you can share with us?
That I can share? Actually, there's a lot of what I'm gonna. Yes, there's several things. Which one to choose? Okay, can I do two?
Yes.
Okay, so one of these things is really sustainability, right? Because you have cannabis can often be depicted as not green, right? Very intensive in terms of energy consumption, etc. And we are really, because we're greenhouse cannabis, we're here trying to really harness Mother Nature and its power of the sun, right, to grow our plants. And we're really trying to minimize our footprint as much as we can. And Glass House Farms, the brand, our flower brand, is really, so we're really working very hard on all aspects, whether it's packaging, measuring the true impact we're having on the environment, working with people who can help us be even better at our game. So that's one of these initiatives that we're really, really excited about. And then a second initiative is, it's more Kai's initiative, more like CSR, but it's the whole company is definitely committed to social justice. And so right now, this week, for us, and you know, before June 10th, opportunities. We really are doing as much as we can to get things moving. So a lot of things are going to come up really soon with Kyle's involvement, but also on the marketing side. Little initiative, big initiatives, so you're going to see quite a bit. On the small side, we have Parker Coleman, who is currently spending 60 years in jail for doing the things that we do every day. And so we are doing our best to lift his spirit, but also get him out of jail.
That's so incredible. Both of those causes are so deep in my heart, and to like connect the cultures and what the story of cannabis and the war on drugs and everything, that to get to this moment is pretty spectacular, and to use your reach and your innovations in your minds for good. I mean, that's just got to be why you get up every day, right? The merging of the two.
Yes. And also for the fun. So we're also excited.
The fun in the community, of course.
We're planning,
too.
Oil Day.
Yeah.
And cool stuff coming up.
Party with a purpose is the best kind. Yes. Well, if people want to keep up with you and your work and everything you're doing with this incredible company, where can they follow you, connect with you?
Definitely follow us on, with me.
Whatever you want to plug. Whatever you want to plug.
Okay. Well, contact us anywhere you want. We're a little bit everywhere. But yeah, follow us. Follow the Glasshouse Group. Has Instagram, Twitter, and then Glasshouse Farms, our brand, as well. So it's complicated because we got our Instagram account deleted. But it's glass.house.farm, and you'll find us.
That is a whole other beast, isn't it?
Yes.
The nuances of getting around the verbiage and all of that. Yeah.
Yes. The Instagram thing, Facebook, if you listen, just let loose now.
They're definitely listening. They're always watching. So, well, Vilay, it's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. And I'm Amirose once again. Thank you for joining us on this Sunset Session. Belsky will be back next week. We'll see you soon, guys.